top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
What's up, everybody?
That was like one of those Japanese things with like the drum and the yo.
Yo.
Yeah.
Hey, what are those no operas? I believe they are Japanese no, or they go no, and they groom, clack, 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 groom, groom, clack, clack. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, no theaters
And there's
don't.
a shamisen that's like, bow, 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 bow. I always wanted to learn how to play the shamisen.
Me too.
Yeah,
because it would be sick.
For as long as I could remember, I wanted to like walk down the street with a shamisen strapped to my back and one of those like fan like picks and just like bing, 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 bing. Oh, I love them.
Yeah, shamisen are the coolest. Look
are.
up Yoshida Brothers if you've never heard
Oh,
what
dude,
a shamisen is.
Actually, you know, I got to talk to the Yoshida brothers on the phone once, and did you not know that?
No.
And I had them back when
Was
I was...
it for the Wii promotions? Because they did the music for all the Wii commercials.
No, it was just they were promoing an album, and I had them record a promotional because I liked the Yoshida brothers, and I was station manager of 88.3 at the time, and they had sent us a CD, and I guess most places were never going to play their CD, and I was like, dude, I love this. The CD's great, and the production company was like, well, do you want to get them on the phone and record a station ID? And I was like, absolutely. And of course, they could speak almost zero English, but I got them to say, you know, you're listening to, hi everybody, this is the Yoshida brothers, and you're listening to KXUA, and we had to do it like 3 times because the English would they don't speak English. And,
3 times, probably less times than it would take
yeah.
for most people to do another language. So.
But it was very sweet for them to do that. I wish I could find that station ID, even though we're not on 88.3 anymore. But whatever. But anyway, hey, this is the Driving Speakerbox. If you're just tuning in and this is your first time listening to this podcast, you're probably hella confused. But I am Bo, the boom operator. I'm your host.
I'm Jake the Grip.
And for the next hour and some change, we're going to be talking about movies, man. That's what we do. Looks like we already got some people up in the chat. If you are listening into the future and you're just listening to the audio version of this, we do a live stream. We do live streams, and we do them. And we're on,
Just a dude squatting in the live stream coming straight out.
Duding them. It's just like DQ soft serve. But we're... Tonight we're on Periscope, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. We're gonna eliminate Periscope because nobody watches that really much anymore, even though it's down there at the bottom. But we're gonna move over to doing simulcasting on Twitch.
Yeah, dude, we're becoming we're modernizing.
I know.
Going worldwide.
It's what you got to do. You gotta pivot. You gotta survive. You gotta do all this kind of stuff. Vince over there already on the comments in Twitch. He says you guys should try to drive, pardon the pun, to Twitch. You don't have enough followers or people to sub yet, but someday you will. And that's what we're working on. We gotta stream so many hours before we can become whatevers, and we'll probably try and resurrect our Patreon again. And if we're making good content, which we've been doing for a really long time, I think people need to start getting that. It's a lot of work just to create the show anyway, and promoting the show is even harder. So I know I've been saying this for 8 years, but really gonna try this time because I have no excuses because COVID ain't going nowhere, and it's already hilarious to see the amount of quote-unquote content creators that started quote-unquote creating content at the beginning of this quarantine lockdown thing that have already given up on it. Johnny in the comments, he asks why we deleted our Grindr account, and it's just we couldn't keep up with all of the DMs. It was just too much to handle. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody that's already in the stream, so we thank you for tuning in. Tonight we're going to be talking about stuff that happened in movies, but the Grip saw a movie over the
did,
weekend.
yeah.
He watched a film.
A fairly new movie.
That it was in theaters.
It
or
was supposed to be in theaters, yeah.
I paid $20.
No, I tried to go to the theater this weekend, and all of those local theaters of ours that had opened and were showing movies are closed again.
Have closed, yep. I got to see, while they were open, I got to see Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. Didn't get to see Temple of Doom. I was really bummed, but I did get to see that. I saw Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Saw that, and I also got to go see we saw Jaws, but that was at the drive-in, and I saw that other movie, that Steve Carell movie that came out, and I reviewed it on the show a couple weeks ago. But it was cool getting to go to the theater again, but they shut them back down.
Real quick, Johnny mentioned a Pizza Hut shirt. It's not a Pizza Hut shirt, bro. It's a street closed Pizza Boy coming at you with more Fast and Furious. That's how it's supposed to be. Fast and Furious. It's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows.
Mm-hmm.
Cinematic marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Best.
Where's my cricket? Anyway.
No way, dude.
There it is.
There's nothing not amazing about Fast and Furious. No, so the movie that I watched, besides my daily rewatching of Fast and Furious, is Scoob. It's now not $20 any longer. You can find it on HBO Max.
Scoob!
Which is where I watched it. Or now it's down to about like $6 to $8, I think, on whatever you want to pay for it to watch if you don't have a streaming one. So, yeah. Am I going right into the review of this thing?
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. I do want to talk about these theater closings, though, because if you have a theater that opened up in your area and everyone's like, this is the last place you'll get me to go, you're still thinking about things pre-COVID. You're thinking of a crowded theater with people sitting next to you and all this. That's not what's going on. Like when I went in the 3 movies that I saw in the theater post-COVID, I was one of like 3 people in the whole theater, and the staff was very on top of disinfecting everything and cleaning everything, and snacks were super cheap. I got a large popcorn and a large Coke for only $10.
Did they hand you like 2 broomsticks or something, so when you walk in the theater you sit down and you lay them on either side next to you so people can't?
They don't book they only book certain seats. So when you're picking your seat, they have blocked off seats in the map. So if you buy these 2 seats, then the next 2 seats next to you are unavailable for anybody else to purchase. It's pretty cool. But they reclosed, and this is what I want to mention, because this is something that, because I'm a small business owner, and I'm trying to get a lot of my business owner friends, not just small, but even large. If you're listening to the Drive-In Speakerbox, which seems rare, Malco, I'm talking to you, but we need to stop telling people the sugar-coated version of our realities. Like if I read another just post on a door that's like, well, we've thought a lot about it, and for the safety of our customers and patrons, we're going to be shutting down again, and we'll let you know. Don't let them think that everything is okay. We need to stop letting the American consumer base think that everything's fine, because they don't want to support you when everything's fine. They're like, everything's fine. They're just gonna close for a while and they'll be back, and everything's good as new. The reason all of our Malcos closed was not because of the safety of their staff, because their staff was super safe. They closed because 0 people were in the movie theater, and you can't buy the rights to show all these classic movies and have 15 people on staff to make sure all your guidelines are followed and disinfect everything every 35 seconds and sell 14 tickets in a weekend on 15 screens. Like, that doesn't work. The math doesn't work, you guys. And so if you want these things to go away, then just stop going and believe everything's fine. But if you don't want them to go away, then you have to dig a little bit deeper and maybe have a little bit of empathy and go, what? I wonder why these places are going out of business, and why are these places reshuttering? Vince asks on Twitch, is Malco a big chain?
Yes.
They are one of the top 10 chains in the country.
Yeah, they're
towards
huge
that bottom.
in the southeast.
Southeast, yeah. It's a Memphis-based chain, and predominantly in the southeast. But, I see a lot of restaurants, too, that are just like, for the safety of our customers, we decided to close down on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Sundays, and Mondays. So, check us out on Thursday and Friday. Drive through, everything's great. Come see us. Everything's not great. And if everything was great, they'd be open all those days. But the American consumer is just like, oh, well, okay, I guess they're just making a smart decision. No, these people are panicking and they're freaking out and they're closing their businesses week after week. And if I have to hear one more sob story, I was like, well, did you tell your customers that you were about to collapse? Well, no. Well, let's start being honest. Let's start being honest with each other and be aware of the struggles that these places are going through, because if we find out that these places are struggling after they've closed, then there's nothing we can do to stop it. So, yeah, genuine feedback, let's just be real. And that applies to movies, that applies to all movies. And people like the lady I got in an argument with online, and she's like, I just don't understand why I have to pay $10 to see 2 American classics that are from the 80s. And
why would you not?
Why would you not? And it's because, I don't know, bitch, shit costs money. And, it's like, get your head out of your asses if you think that these mega movieplexes with Dolby Atmos surround sounds and reclining seats and dual 4K 3D cinema projectors that can operate like on your $8 ticket. Fuck you. Like, it requires a lot of money to operate.
Especially
these
if they're
things.
showing like 80s classics. Like if they had a double feature of Weird Science and License to Drive, you're telling me you're not going to cough up $10?
Nobody would see that but us.
You think so?
Nobody would see that.
I think
but
everyone
us.
would be there to watch Weird Science for sure.
God, I would pay $50 to see that double feature. Good Lord. Anyway, yeah, guys, everything sucks right now, and if someone says it doesn't suck, then they're lying to you, and just ask them if they're really doing okay, because sometimes some of these people just really need somebody to go, you know what, I actually give a shit, and most people don't, so start giving a shit, I guess, is the theme of tonight's show.
You know what I give a shit about right now? Vince watching some Pauly Shore movies. You need to watch Encino Man and Son-in-Law immediately.
Those are both really good Pauly Shore movies.
And then Johnny said you'd make a great J. Jonah Jameson. You are J. Jonah Jameson.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like you got like the whole like thing. If all you wanted was pictures of Spider-Man, it would be right there.
I'm gonna throw this table up and realize everybody hated me so much.
No, not that. J. Jonah Jameson could be cool sometimes. His son is a werewolf on the moon. That's cool.
Well, why can't I be J. Jonah Jameson's son then? I want to be a wolf boy.
He's like, he has to stay on the moon though. That sucks.
Oh, that does kind of suck.
Yeah.
I don't know. What does he do on the moon?
He just sits around being a werewolf, hanging out with the Watcher.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, or if it's the Venom Sony movie, he just goes to space and then gets killed.
Yeah, that's
so
not
that was
cool either.
dumb.
I don't want to do that. Anyway, so what else is in the news? Speaking of, if we're going to go back to some of Jake's favorite topics here, did you hear
Pauly Shore movies and Fast and Furious?
Oh, I was going to say The Rock.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear that Dwayne Johnson bought the XFL?
So that's the title they keep putting out there. He bought into being a partner.
Yeah, but $15 million
only $15 million
is got to be a big piece of the XFL.
Yeah, well, that's such a tiny amount of money in something like that to buy an entire sports league for $15 million.
It's the XFL. Come on.
So the Dodgers alone, a single baseball team.
Yeah, but that's
when
Dodgers.
They sold.
Name a single XFL
the
team.
best baseball team ever. Yeah.
Name
$3 billion.
Yeah, but name one XFL team.
That's what I'm saying. 15. Everyone's acting like it's a big deal. It's like The Rock, the highest paid actor in the world, franchise Viagra. He comes in and he's just like, 15 mil for my friend Vince McMahon. Psh, whatever.
It said that according to THR,
and it wasn't just The Rock. It was The Rock and investment group.
Of course, Bill, because he's. It's rich people. It's never just one person's money. But according to the report from THR, the league's assets at the time of the filing were valued between $10 and $50 million, and had an additional liabilities between another $10 and $50 million. So if you think about that, that's like a fifth of that sucker. And that's a big chunk of change at the table.
I think it's one of those things where he was probably approached and they're like, hey, can we put your name on this to get some buzz here?
Because it's going to work.
I think so.
It's absolutely going to work.
Yeah, just The Rock's brand name, just...
Sure, yeah. I mean, Vince McMahon alone can't carry it since you need some of that wrestling name talent name there with it too. Because like, what if Stone Cold came in and half the games were, sponsored by Broken Skull Ranch and vodka and all that stuff that he does.
I wish that Dwayne
Broken
Johnson
Ranch,
would buy
or Broken
into
Skull
Ciroc
IPA.
vodka.
Move over, P. Diddy.
I know, but just The Rock drinking Ciroc, it just makes sense.
He's all about the tequila though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think The Rock owns a tequila,
Yeah, I
doesn't
think,
he?
he has a stake in some
Yeah.
tequila brand. I forget.
Well, anyway, pretty cool stuff.
I'm gonna stock a bar with just celebrity-owned alcohols one day.
Do it.
Do it.
Buy me a drink.
Yeah, like Crystal Skull vodka with old Dan
Dan
Aykroyd,
Aykroyd.
and Ciroc with P. Diddy. What's Justin Timberlake's
MySpace.
booze? No, what's his booze that he has?
Oh, who knows?
Ryan Reynolds' booze.
Aviation gin.
Yeah, Joe Perry's hot sauce, and you just drink it out of the bottle.
What was Cabo Wabo?
Hey, yeah, Sammy Hagar.
Hagar.
Yeah, I'm sure that I could have Margaritaville margarita.
At Casamigo, Kaya said Casamigos. That was George Clooney had a big. I think he just recently sold off all of his. They brought him in to sell Casamigos.
Vince coming in with Billy beer. Yeah, I'll just transport back in time and get some Billy beer.
That reminds me. I was seeing something online. I wish I had the link to it right now. But the burger franchise and all the Kevin Smith movies, what is it called, Movies, you can actually get.
I think I just filled the cup. That's from Jay and Silent Bob. That's so stupid.
But you can. I've thought about getting it. If you can get a 6-pack burger kit from Movies that comes with the cups and the fry, like all the like branded stuff, and you can have a movie burger.
Hey.
And it's like $80 or something, but you get enough for 6 burgers and whatever. It's like about $14 a burger, but you get all that branded merch. I think it'd be really cool to have a cup up here.
Yeah, having movie stuff would be cool.
Yeah,
because it's in all of the movies like Dogma and Jay and Silent Bob, and it's the whole setting of Clerks 2, which is not the best one, but it's a thing that exists.
Yeah, so it's and I'm just pulled up the article right now. There's Movies delivery pop up to benefit some charities, but now you can get it online. And pretty cool stuff. So yeah, you can get the whole movies meal that have the chocolate covered pretzels and everything. So
don't eat the chocolate covered pretzels, man.
Well, don't spoil it. I wonder how movie accurate they are.
Someone in the comments said we should have a wrestling tag team called Thoughts and Prayers, and I think that would be perfect if all we took on was up and comers.
All of our catchphrases. Let's see. Dylan says if he ever finds his Batman Forever McDonald's glass mug, he'll donate it to the set.
Sweet. Yes, because maybe it'll be one of the ones that I don't have, because I still routinely drink out of those and my Lord of the Rings mugs whenever at my parents' house, because we have Batman glasses and Lord of the Rings goblets.
See, I have the Star Wars Burger King glasses. Those are the ones that I have.
I have the Qui-Gon Jinn Duel of the Fates, one of those.
Yeah. You remember when fast food used to have cool stuff like that?
Yeah, like the Tarzan straws with the little characters' faces, and they would
like the Phil Collins Tarzan.
Yeah, like Disney animated Tarzan. You would sip through the straw, and the liquid would make them say catchphrases.
I don't remember that one.
They're pretty cool, man.
But like, you remember the Land Before Time, like hand puppets from Pizza Hut? Because I'm just thinking of your Pizza Hut shirt there. It was the premium items. It was a premium item that you pay a little bit extra for, that you can only get the. I think fast food places need to do that again.
Happy Meal toys were super dope. Like you had the Back to the Future animated series toys.
And there was the burger. I'm a Burger King kid. So the Burger King
Taco Bell had all the super cool Star Wars stuff
and some good Batman stuff. But Burger King had Universal Monsters for a while, which was sick. And I think there might be one of the, I don't know, it's somewhere in the archives here that I've got some.
I don't know. Those Lord of the Rings goblets are pretty sick.
I never got one of those.
Oh, dude, they're super cool.
God. Memorabilia.
It's like a glass goblet, and the stalk on it has like just the rings stacked. It's super rad.
Sweet.
And then all around the main portion, it's like 3D. It's like a relief deal of characters and scenes from the movies.
Johnny Dalton says that Alive had a tie-in with Arby's. Ew, that's a dark joke because they have all the meats. Gross. Let's see. John Muck has asked, does Pinpoint's new menu have the Phil Collins on it? No, but it has a Bootsy Collins. We do have a Collins beverage named after the basis, baby.
There's so many weird Bootsy things I can say, and I don't want to because no one will know what I'm talking about. It'll just be weird. Like, have you ever seen that video of him playing his little keyboard? He's like, somebody bring me my space bass. Oh, it gets weirder.
Well, because it's Bootsy Collins.
Yeah, he's like, somebody bring me my space bass before I come on myself.
Oh, baby mama.
Bootsy is the coolest. The funk landed on his house, and he found out that he could see around corners.
Dude, he's the funkiest dude this side of the planet.
Yeah, everybody wanted some of that funk. Even the Bee Gees wanted some.
Because it's Bootsy, baby.
Oh, give us that funky milk.
Ooh, I don't know if I want that
Please
funky
keep my
milk. Yeah.
jokes in T-shirt form.
Let's see. Other news. Man, this is kind of a rumor that was kind of made me sad. But Terry Gilliam, another canceled project from Terry Gilliam, they were talking about it in an interview the other day. Thanks to COVID, but added to the list of 1,000,001 like failed Terry Gilliam projects. But this one was going to be based off of a 1956 novella commissioned by one of Stanley Kubrick's homies. It was originally an idea by Stanley Kubrick, which would have been really cool, seeing kind of like a Kubrick Gilliam project come to life. But that was interesting. And in the news, there's a couple of Netflix things that were supposed to hit the big screen, but are probably just going to hit Netflix now. You've got a new Southern Gothic thing with Tom Holland and Rob Pattinson called The Devil All the Time. And then there was the other one. What was the movie? It was basically Rear Window, where
Suburbia.
No, that one was
with Shia LaBeouf.
No, I mean that's already been in theaters.
It was Rear Window.
It was Rear Window, but that was a new Rear Window-ish looking movie with Amy Adams. What was it? The Woman in the Window. That is apparently getting scooped up by Netflix and not hitting theaters.
Fright Night was Rear Window.
With vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, God, I want to watch Fright Night again.
Fright Night's so good.
God, both the original and the remake are really, really, really good.
Since you brought up Robert Pattinson, what about that
Batman
full suit reveal, huh?
Oh, man. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about that Batman, Rob Pat suit reveal on the internet. Maybe the producer here can pull us up a little image so you can look along at home. But I don't know. I mean, okay. I'm gonna just say it's cool.
It's pretty cool.
I'm gonna say it's cool, but I don't like the whiteout eyeballs. And I get it. I get it that Batman has whiteout eyes in his comic book form, which is normal. But it just looks so weird in real life. It's kind of like the Tick. The Tick has big-ass whiteout eyes, right? But you just can't make that work in a live action. It just is strange.
So even in the Arkham games, like Asylum and City, etc., Batman does not have the white in front of his eyes. And that's probably the best 3D renderings of a bat suit outside of Adam West.
It looks cool, even with the cargo pants. Pretty cool. The armor looks cool. I think it looks very much like a bat suit might do, minus the white eyes.
See, I didn't like the cargo pants.
Yeah, Dylan says Abercrombie and Fitch cargo pants.
Yeah. The cargo pants are the part that bothered me, but I didn't notice them at first. Because the rest of the costume, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But it is Batman supposed to be like starting out, being the Bat.
Yeah, of course, because that's the story that everybody is going to want to see in movies. It's the easiest one. Let's just let's retell that old freaking dead horse.
No, it's not. It's not the same thing because usually you see his origin, but you don't see like rookie Batman unless you watch Year One animated movie.
Yeah,
which is different.
I saw that image on Facebook.
Wasn't there a little bit of rookie Batman in the Christopher Nolan one? Like just
Yeah, but he had it pretty together, though. Because he's like, where are the other drugs going? Yeah.
Dylan Doom says, "Who needs utility belt? I got all the pockets." That's true. They are like bat pants. Cargo pants are very
Unless you forget
handy.
which pocket you put it in, or that pocket gets really weighed down and you have to reach further than you mean to.
So when I was working on film sets all the time, cargo pants were a must. You can have extra batteries in there. I can have screens for my lav mics. I can have tape. I can have, all kinds of just stuff in the cargo portions of the cargo pants. They're really, really handy. Before it gets way too far out of the comments, I want to jump back to something that John Munkus said before we do. It's Batman, deep dives on Batman. We'll be talking about that shit for the rest of the show. But John mentioned in the comments about Brian Fuller's amazing, amazing show, Hannibal, which I talked about on this show years ago when it was on, I think it was NBC, because I loved that show. I love him as a director.
Had old nutsack whacker. You know who I'm talking about.
Mads Mikkelsen?
Yeah.
Why, what is he known for? Whacking nutsacks?
Yeah, dude. That's in Casino Royale.
Why is that the part that stuck in your brain? The
'Cause,
nutsack part.
Well, that's when he got kind of big and more known, is when he was the Bond
Was
villain.
he an up and comer then? You'd say?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and his whole deal was that he knotted a rope and beat on Bond, bro.
Beat on bonds.
Yeah.
I couldn't do Casino Royale because most of the game, it came out right around the time where Texas Hold'em was like a thing on TV that everybody had a big heart on for, and everyone was like, I'm going to learn Texas Hold'em. Man, that's the river. Turn them over. We're going to have Texas Hold'em at my house. You guys like Texas Hold'em? I watch Texas Hold'em online. We do online Texas Hold'em. And then they made a fucking Bond Texas Hold'em, and it was the whole movie was just...
If you're going to be all about poker, just watch Maverick, man.
Exactly. Watch Maverick.
And if you're going to be all about Pharaoh, watch Tombstone. Because people in the West, poker wasn't really their game. Pharaoh was the big game, which is the whole reason that the Earps ended up in Tombstone anyhow, was that they were going to run a Pharaoh table and dig for riches.
Dylan mentions the Pusher film series is fantastic. If you've never seen the Pusher films, they're really, really, really good. They are foreign language films, but they're awesome. Man, I'm so glad you mentioned that because I haven't watched those in years, and they're really, really good. Poochie Vince over in Twitch asks, someone begged me to watch it and the pilot wasn't my thing. Does it get better? Yes.
Isn't
Fuller,
that what everyone says about all of the shows they like?
do I need to go back to any of the Star Treks you've recommended me, dude?
Hey, man. You know what?
Okay, let me finish Hannibal. So Hannibal, because we got Batman to fall back on, and now Star Trek. It's just the Star Trek and Batman show.
You just blew the rest of the show there, because I will go on.
But Fuller has an interesting way of directing and storytelling. It's dark, it's methodical, and it's so close to what the novels make the world feel like that it just sucks you into this. I mean, he was doing True Detective before True Detective figured out how to do True Detective. And then True Detective made a thing, but Hannibal had already done it and done it better. And, it's such a hauntingly eerie show, and Mads Mikkelsen's performance of Hannibal Lecter is amazing. And if you only watched the pilot, you don't even get much Hannibal. You don't get into the psychological elements of the show that it really explores, and is a fantastic show. And the fact that it was on a major network and the things that they were getting away with was unbelievable. And now with its success on Netflix, they're talking about maybe even giving it a season 4, because it got a hurried wrap at season 3 where they had to just kind of put a bow on it. And but they're saying they're not going to touch the Silence of the Lambs storyline, and good, because Anthony Hopkins already knocked it out of the park. And there's so many more.
He invented the character.
Ish. I think Mads.
Well,
is
he's the one that
way better Hannibal.
Yeah, but he's the one that gave him the weird voice and the creepy stuff and the and all the things.
Well,
have you ever watched interviews with Anthony Hopkins about how he did Hannibal and came up with all that stuff?
And that's cool. And he's scary and he's frightening and he's a great serial killer. But what makes Mads' performance even better is like many serial killers and many psychopaths in history that somehow have, you read all these things that say that they were so charismatic and so charming. You go, how can someone who is so violent and insane be so charming? And Mads, you just fall in love with this guy. You're just like, wow, he's just like, he's an awesome dude. He's intelligent. He's refined. He's just got all the sex appeal, and he's just cool and smart. And dude, watch this. Don't give me this side eye.
Matt's legit. He's legit.
And he's like a modern day Dracula. Like Dracula is not scary because he sucks your blood. Dracula's scary because he's sexy and everybody wants to be with Dracula. He's got this power over you, and you just succumb to it. And
unless you keep your fucking doors and windows shut.
But he gets mean, and he invites you in. You're like, come on in. He's like, and then
it just hits you with sex vision, and you're
Dude.
like, oh, I guess I'll let this creep in my window that's 20 feet off the ground.
Yeah, the kiss of darkness. You know?
That's bad.
Man.
Eat garlic before you go to sleep, y'all.
Yeah, dude. But anyway, Mads, amazing performance, and I'm glad that if they do a season 4, I'm happy that they're not going Silence of the Lambs route, because it's a story that's been told too many times, and I think that there's so many more stories in that series that they could do so much more justice with. And anyway, there's that. I'm excited about it. I'm thinking about rewatching Hannibal because it's a great show. And
First season,
Yeah.
way better. Second
It's-
season,
yeah, I mean it. The first season sticks the landing, but the rest of it is really good. Anyway,
Anyhow, bat costumes.
Check
it out. Look for it.
Bat costumes.
It's out there. Maybe Bat Pat won't be so bad, huh? I don't know. I have hopes for it. I think it'd be cool.
Who knows? Another Batman. It's another Batman. How many Batmans are there now? I mean, we've got...
It's a big multiverse, man.
We got all the Batmans.
At least 52. You gotta hit at least 52, man.
52 Batmans. All the multiverses, and we can have them all. Yeah. All right. Well, that's what's been going on in the world of movies. What's been going on in your world on your TV? You watched Scoob.
I did, because it was a movie that's
you must have been
fairly
super
new.
bored.
Yeah. Yep.
So Scoob.
So I watched Scoob, which is it's half Scooby-Doo origin story, and then a half turns out ghosts or specters or whatever things are real, and they end up fighting the actual real Cerberus from Greek mythology.
What?
Dick Dastardly's the bad guy. Blue Falcon is there. Captain
Mark
Caveman
Wahlberg,
shows up. Mark
Falcon.
Wahlberg is just like a terrible.
So did they just
Blue Falcon.
pull?
They're making a Hanna-Barbera universe. Yep.
Is USA Cartoon Express going to come back, and there's going to be wacky races?
Well, there's
Actually,
a bunch
give me
of
some
stuff in
wacky
it.
races.
So at the end of the movie, they set up the whole Hanna-Barbera universe, the Wacky Racers verse, because you see Grape Ape, and there's parts in the movie where you see
Magilla Gorilla.
Hong Kong Phooey.
Hong Kong. I don't know if I think we need to cancel Hong Kong.
Well,
Phooey.
he's on an arcade machine, so it's just like an in the background thing.
El Kabong. How about El Kabong?
No, El Kabong wasn't there, but Jabberjaw is.
Jabberjaw.
See, so they set up for Jabberjaw and Grape Ape and all of these people or characters. So the animation is not super rad. Dynamite was cool, except for the fact that he was just very Ken Jeong, just extremely Ken Jeong, because they went out of their way to get the biggest celebrities they could, like Zac Efron is Freddy,
And that's why they're changing the names or changing
Amanda
the voices
Seyfried
of these people.
is Daphne. That chick from Jane the Virgin is
Will Forte.
Velma. Will Forte is Shaggy.
Tracy
and
Morgan.
It's super weird. Tracy Morgan is just Tracy Morgan. He's not
Of
Captain
course.
Caveman.
But
Captain Caveman is one of the coolest Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and all they did was make him a 30-second joke in the movie, and just so they could have Tracy Morgan. Oh, Tracy Morgan. And it was not.
That's what he does.
I know. Yeah, yeah, it was that. It was just that.
I'm Captain Caveman.
Yeah.
Like that's every Tracy Morgan everything.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a movie. It's there. The one thing though, they did have a longtime voice actor, Fred Welker for Scooby. So they maintained that, but the rest of it was just getting the biggest names attached to it they could, which don't really play a lot of big parts. And then they force in some Harry Potter jokes just because old Malfoy's dad is Dick Dastardly's voice in this.
Oh.
But they Jason Isaacs. They set it up for having a Wacky Racers versus Hanna-Barbera universe. I don't know where they're planning on going with it. Johnny says Kevin Hart should be Scrappy. That's probably going to happen.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that'll probably happen.
No. Now that you've put it into the world, it's going to manifest. That's going to be a real thing, you guys. Thanks for that.
But Mark Wahlberg being a terrible superhero that's more scared than Shaggy was fun. Just because Mark Wahlberg doing stuff can be entertaining at times. But it's a movie.
Hey, I'm the Blue Falcon. How's your mother?
Yeah, that's exactly his character. And they're like, "Oh, you're not the Blue Falcon." And he's like,
No,
"Yeah, I am."
Sure I am.
And then he's the Blue Falcon's son that's terrible at being the Blue Falcon. So, it's there. If you're a big fan of old cartoons, there's like 2 scenes that you might be like, "Oh, look at that," because they shot for shot recreate the original Scooby-Doo opening. But do it in 3D, and you're like, oh, it's just like the thing that they did. And then the Hong Kong Phooey deal and a couple of things that are happening in the background for Dick Dastardly. But for the most part, it doesn't really hit for anything there. I wasn't like, oh, this reminds me of childhood and growing up with Hanna-Barbera or anything fun, except for when I saw like Hong Kong Phooey arcade machines, and I was like, oh, look at that. Dope. Yeah. So it's there. It's kind of dumb. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you just need something in the background to make noise.
For your children to shut up at.
I don't even know if it would work for that because it's not like...
Good.
It's not entertaining enough to hold attention, I guess. And it jumps around too much because they try to force all of these characters into it for merchandising. So, yeah, it's more of a merchandising scam than Star Wars. So,
oof. That's pretty tough.
So it's there. It's a
go.
thing.
Well, in other news, this is something that we skipped in the first half of the show, but Vince reminded us. We lost a celeb, a very famous celeb. Most people in the modern world, especially this post-meme sort of world where nobody actually knows anything, they just recognize things visually. He was the Quaker Oats man and the diabetes man, but... The amazingly talented Wilford Brimley died today, I think, at the age of...
it was...
yesterday?
Yeah, I think, yes.
At the age of, 83 or something? In his early 80s, which is just... I mean, I thought he would be older than that, honestly. It was kind of a shock to figure out that he was only in his 80s. But yeah, I mean, as Vince said in Twitch, The Thing and Cocoon, I mean, fantastic movie. If you've never seen Cocoon, Cocoon's fantastic.
But even better than that, he was the uncle in Hard Target.
Well,
and he was in one of the Ewok movies.
Oh, that second one, The Battle of Endor?
Yeah, with
the little curly-haired girl?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But also The Flash in fuzzy form.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What was his name?
Dude.
Was it the second one or was it in the first one?
Are you talking about Ewoks the Battle? He was even Ewoks
was in the
Battle of
second
Endor.
one?
Yeah, the Battle of Endor, because that's the one that's hilarious.
Dude, the first one's pretty good because the kid Mace, he like shoves his arm in this tree where this fuzzy animal pops out, and then obviously his arm is bitten by a very much larger aggressive animal, and he's like, "Oh, why did I put my arm in this tree?" And it's super dumb. And the Gorax, man, and you have Chukatroth, the lumberjack shape-shifting Ewok.
When is the last time you saw this movie?
What's today? Yesterday. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I watch them all the time. I have friends that we argue about Ewoks, man. Which one's the cooler Ewok? Talking about my boy Paplu.
I know your favorite one is Paplu. Mine is the one with the skull on his head. I forget his name. Yeah. And he's like, I'm gonna set you on fire, and
salting them up.
Yeah, he's the cannibal one.
Chukatroth is the lumberjack one, man. And he changes sizes when he gets on the pony.
Did you have the Ewok toys? Like, because it was the Ewok
No, I
cartoon
wish.
show, right? And then, there was a toy series. Vince says your memory scares him sometimes.
Hey, that's why we sit here and do this show, because I can remember all of those things, but I can't remember anything that's important to somebody. So
That's true. But also, Wilford Brimley, he was in a lot of stuff. Like, yes, Hard Target. He was also in The Firm. That was a really famous movie at the time.
He was in a handful of Charles Bronson movies and several westerns, including a bit part in the original True Grit.
And he's just a generally good dude.
Yeah.
Everybody liked Wilford Brimley. He was like everyone's grandpa, super awesome. After reading, when I saw his obituary, I read some stuff about him, and just people saying that what a awesome guy he was to always work with, and that he will be missed by many. He hadn't been in a movie in a while. I think 2016 or 2017 was the last movie that he'd been in, and of course getting early or late in his years, making it harder to act. And he had a movie that he was working on called Cellophane, and I don't think that's going to get finished, but,
Maybe they could give him the Heath Ledger treatment.
Possibly. Like, what was the last movie, the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus?
Mm-hmm. Or maybe now they can do the Carrie Fisher thing.
Or are they just CGI Wilford Brimley? I'm Wilford Brimley. Diabetes. I mean, he changed that name of that disease forever. I mean, I don't think people that don't even know Wilford Brimley know diabetes. Like, that's got to mean something. Like, what a legacy. You've changed a word in the English language.
Brought a lot of awareness to a very harsh disease.
It's true. Well, pouring one out for old Will Brims. You will be missed. What else? Yep, there he is. Diabetes. And I think he was 32 in that photo. I mean, he's one of those people that have always been old.
Don't feel so bad about my age anymore then.
It's strange. There are those people that,
like Steve Martin.
Yeah, they're just old right out the fetus. They're just, came out the fetus with a cane and glasses. And you're like, what?
Yeah,
how'd that happen?
Friggin' Benjamin Button, man.
Yeah, exactly. There's some Benjamin Buttons out there. And, or like Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe has always looked a little more haggard than, your average Joe.
Well, he reached maturity and then he didn't age for like 40 years.
I mean, he reached like maturity, not just like regular maturity.
Just the creepiest Jesus ever.
Yes, creepy. Yeah. Like he was in what, Last Temptation of Christ as Jesus.
Was that what it was?
I think it was.
Was it Superstar?
And the one where he had to they couldn't show peckers in that movie, so they had to turn him to the side and tuck his wiener between his legs.
They made Life of Brian and just had wieners everywhere. They're like, oh, your Jesus film can't have penises hanging out all over the place?
Watch
well,
this.
Guess what Monty Python has ready for you?
The opposite.
Because that scene where he opens the window and the whole crowd is there and he's just hanging loose.
It's such a good movie.
Monty Python's real dumb, y'all.
Man.
By the way, I pulled up the Batman pic finally.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you pulled up the pic of Life of Brian. I was like, don't put that on here.
We found photos. Yeah, there it is. I'm sure heavy photoshopping going on there.
Yeah, someone said a minute ago they thought it was fake. You know what? But that's fine because a rendering of something kind of like that gives you just an idea from what the suit reveal was, even if it is not absolutely real. But I mean, that looks pretty cool.
I mean, it's just minus the eyeballs.
I've never liked Goggles Catwoman either, though. I've never liked that.
Really? You didn't like her in the Arkham series, like her rendition?
No, really? I've never cared for
Batman
that.
Hush. animated and
Yeah, but you know what? Like all of the stuff I like too goes back to old. You know, I like the purple suit and all of that. You know what I'm talking about? Like, not quite to the point of having like the big black hair hanging out of the costume.
But can we just be thankful that Zoe Kravitz is the new Catwoman, because Zoe Kravitz freaking rules. Yeah. You know, I just got done watching the High Fidelity show.
Obsessed.
And she's awesome. She's just a bad bitch, man. She's Kravitz blood. You can't. It's like Dracula. I'd invite her in.
Or Edward Cullen, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, vampire. There it is. Exactly, vampire. All right. Well, do you got anything else to talk about there, Grib? What else is new? What's going on?
I mean, nothing.
There's no movies coming out. There's none of that stuff.
Johnny wants the gray and blue early 70s Batman costume brought back. That's a thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But
Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
Cybertron.
You watched Transformers. The producer watched some
I feel like you need to
Transformers.
come over here and sit.
Oh man,
He watched some
You need to come sit and talk about
Netflix
that.
cartoon.
Are we bringing the guns out? Are we gonna have the producer come up here?
Oh, speaking of
sit in
Trans-
my spot and talk about Transformers.
Transformers and
I could talk about it
Scoob.
next week. Even
If
though
we're
it's
talking
not
about
really a show.
that,
Oh, he's just like getting camera shy over
the
here.
voice
I
of
can hop over
Scooby-Doo
there.
has done so many Transformers
Hop in
voices.
the driver's seat, bro. Come over here, because we were talking about it off camera. And look at this special treat.
Should I wear the mask?
Oh, you got a Batman mask?
No, it's Sub-Zero.
Oh, check it out, guys.
Do I need to
Special guest
do I need to
appearance.
pop on my ninja attire too?
Yeah. What's going on? What's up?
Oh, weird.
This is the producer, everybody.
Weird. This is so weird.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Yeah, so I just watched Transformers War on Cybertron. It's on Netflix. And the funny thing is, I actually didn't know it existed until I was, me and my old high school buddy were watching this Twitch stream of a Mega Man speed run, and he happened to mention this series. Anyways, yeah, so it takes, it's loosely based off of the video game that came out a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're into, you know, I'd say it appeals to everyone who's like OG Transformers, like G1 Transformers to like Transformers Prime to all that stuff, right? So you watched Transformers Prime. You remember that, right?
I don't think I've ever watched Prime. My
You
main
watched the
thing was
one with
Beast
the,
Wars.
the movie where it was Excalibur and they.
I did.
there was
Yeah,
wizards.
I've seen all of the terrible live action movies so that we could talk to our audience about those with Mark Wahlberg in them.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Optimus? How's your mother? And it's like, oh, she turned me evil for 10 seconds, and then I heard Bumblebee's voice, and now I'm back. Is that what you're
That's
talking
the
about?
one.
But I have played several of the video games, but Beast Wars was my main jam.
Beast Wars, yeah. I mean, I think that's what we grew up with. Like, you know, that was like the after school show. Like, you know, that took place obviously in another universe and obviously in, you know, Beast Wars, Beast Machines. But anyways, like back to this show, like if you're an OG G1 person, if you like just got into Transformers, and what I thought was really just powerful are like in the first 6 episodes, which 6 episodes makes up chapter 1. They're each like 20 minutes a pop, and for me, I don't really like watching shows because or try to minimize them because I mean it's like me and Hennessy, right? It's like me and Henny, like, you know, I just take one sip and then there goes the damn bottle. So, you know, I try to limit myself. So anyways, these are just 20-minute episodes, and what if you're really into the Transformers lore, if you wanted to get into it, I really liked how the themes of the parallels that you can see between you know, what Megatron was fighting for and what Optimus was fighting for, right? And they were both students of Alpha Trion. And then the parallels I draw, I was talking to Bo before the show, you know, not to get, you know, political, but I mean, there's certain ideologies in history that you can, like with revolution, you know, like, you know, Marxist revolution and, you know, Stalinism and things like that. And that's sort of what, from my perspective, that's sort of what Megatron was trying to go through, because the Decepticons, they paint the Decepticons in not just like these evil, mostly flying, you know, bots. Like they actually, you know, speak on how the Autobots and Decepticons were born into like lower class Cybertron was like, like pseudo feudalist society. The Autobots were like, they're the bourgeois class, right? They actually went to like, the theater, and they're people that just,
Because you have the prime.
yeah. It's like here in Fable, you're like, oh, that you could draw a parallel with some people, hopping over to the Walton Arts Center, or going to Theater Square like every, when it was open every week.
I mean,
it was like that class of people.
I was listening to an interesting story the other day talking about how people need to maybe wake up and start realizing that America could possibly be a caste system, and we've been ignoring it for a long time.
So like Transformers, it really does a good job of tying in that just the original lore, but also painting the Decepticons and Autobots like in a very real way. Very, there's a lot of humanity to it, I think.
Yeah, because sometimes you're a fully loaded diesel truck, and other times you're a fucking cassette player.
Yeah,
Or like Johnny says, he he feels sorry for the Transformer that finds out it's a Kia.
Yeah. So and with Optimus, I'm not trying to like side with like Megatron, who was actually formerly his given name I think was Megatronus, right? So the thing is, like with Optimus, he was fighting for freedom, like individual rights and liberties and things like that, and which is a direct conflict with Megatron, where he's like, well, everyone, we need to start this revolution, and he has his own certain vision of the future of how Cybertron should live. So there's he goes on like the loud megaphone and like does a lot of propaganda stuff that's kind of reminiscent towards back in the Soviet Russia and the Stalin days and things like that. And if you watch it, your analysis might be different, but that's immediately what I thought of. Just given my stance on certain things. But even if you're not into the politics stuff like that, it's just really the visuals are great. If you didn't like the Transformers Prime, just kind of circular CG stuff, this goes back to like more of the hard lines and edges of the G1 almost, but still CG, right?
I want to see Megatron now with a big Stalin mustache and like Jetstream. They make look like linen or something.
Yeah,
and then
Starscream.
Yeah. And then they can
it's
have like
fire though. Yeah,
they can have like a Decepticon that preceded them with a big Mark's beard.
Yeah,
that would be sick.
As long as we get my boy Sound or Shockwave.
Oh, dude, like Shockwave and Soundwave, the characters, they each have you can see how there's different factions which in each side, right?
Yeah.
And they hammer this, and it was crazy how they just, and to some people it may seem kind of rushed, but for me I'm like, wow, 6 episodes went by that quick, and it covered the Autobot struggle, the Decepticon struggle, where like it to me it's like it's not just two sides, right? There's in our society right now it's so divisive, right? And there's always multiple groups. It's not just red versus blue, or things aren't as black and white, cut and dry as they seem.
Autobots versus Decepticons.
Yeah. So you have like I don't want to give any spoilers, but there's certain bots that actually we know them very well. However, in here they have no allegiance yet, and they're just like they're almost like a smuggler, type, like Han Solo, smuggler type, that they're like, I'm not an Autobot, I'm not a Decepticon, I don't want anything to do with this war, right? I'm just trying to survive out here.
Grimlock Dinobots.
Yeah. But anyways, I'd say it's on Netflix. If you have a Netflix subscription, give it a watch. I really enjoed it.
Word.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to chapter 2. Chapter 2.
Easy to binge, only 6 episodes, 20 minutes each.
Yeah. That was right after Pinpoint, after the wing.
Last night.
Yeah. Where were you at? Yeah, where were you at, Jake?
Sleeping, man.
Right.
Worked all weekend, but that's just 2 hours total. You can sit, that's just the length of a movie. Go through it.
Yeah. Anyways, so chapter 2, I guess, is gonna. Yeah, of course, chapter 1, 6 episodes. It ends with this cliffhanger, and I'm like, oh no, they. Yeah, it was.
That's how they do it these days.
Yeah, now you're going to have to buy the toys that come with little mini comic tie-ins.
Yeah,
dude, if they just make those cassette tape Transformers again, I'm sold.
Yeah, apparently you and Vince.
Dude, they were the best.
Yeah, do we have any Transformers stuff here? I don't think so. Yeah, I think we need
maybe.
We could.
Yeah. Yeah, Yeah, so now we're gonna shift gears. Now it's time for Mortal Kombat Hour. We're just gonna be talking everything MK.
Yeah, Bo walked away, so
Yeah,
now it's
you
time.
walked away. We can talk about Scorpion's Revenge.
Aftermath has been out long enough. We need to talk about
Oh,
this.
dude. Oh, man.
Because now that we're getting into Twitch, as you guys requested, video games and talking movies coming soon. But we can talk. Oh, here, I'll just do this now because you're going to be Sub-Zero. Check this out, dude. I'm Noob Saibot now, bro.
Oh, here we
go.
You're my
We're the
brother?
two Sub-Zeros.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
So
Bihan.
Bihan, you're
Yeah.
Okay.
What's Noob Saibot's name?
Noob Saibot is when he was the original Sub-Zero. Wait, he was Bihan, right? And then there's
No.
Kuai Lang. Kuai Lang was the.
I thought Kuai Lang was the original Sub-Zero.
No,
Bihan was the Scar Cool Boy.
No, Bihan was the brother, and then Kuai Lang was the younger brother. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
so
point
apparently
is-
I wasn't rich enough as a kid to have Transformers, so all I found were GoBots.
Check it out.
So, yeah, here's the GoBot leader. He was the Jet.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
some
Check that
motorcycle
Let's focus here.
guy. And then there was, I can't remember what these were. Maybe somebody online can help me remember what this, but they were just like,
A disco ball
they were
transformer?
like earth minerals. I loved these things. They were different rocks, and then they would transform into like little robots, and I freaking loved them.
Whoa, where'd you
Like,
get this?
yeah, and he just transforms into just a shiny rock, but God, I thought it was awesome when I was a kid.
Yeah, autofocus is not doing that.
Because
Well,
it doesn't autofocus. It's just,
Okay, there, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, anyway, so we could do MK Hour some other time. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, I have got to talk about Aftermath.
Dude,
because
Aftermath's legit.
The storyline in
I don't even play the
Aftermath.
games. I just watch the movies. That's how.
Yeah, they're
lame I am.
so cinematic.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? If you're
I don't
looking
even watch
for
them.
a good movie that's not a movie, just get on YouTube when you're done watching us. Find the just the cinema, the cinematics from Mortal Kombat 9, 10, and 11 and Aftermath.
I mean, a few days ago I watched just the Halo cinematics again. You know, I haven't played Halo since like number 2.
Just to keep up with the story.
Yeah, just give it the story. The stories are so great. I mean, anyways, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's actually super rad. And now, hey, in Aftermath, they bring back Shang Tsung, and he is portrayed by Hiroyuki Tagawa, reprising the role of Shang Tsung, as made famous in the Mortal Kombat live-action movie and Sabrina the Teenage Witch episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
Yeah, dude.
Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna transform my Rock Lord, as Vince in the comments has told us this was, which is a spin-off of GoBots, which were far superior to GoBots. But look, it's a cute little rock.
Someone's got a Transformers fleshlight.
Boom.
What?
That's what Johnny Dalton
Yeah, I
said.
don't know. That's a little weird.
Yeah.
Grody. But anyway, we're gonna get out of here. We were up against our hour limit here, and this guy's got to go to work. I've got stuff to do. But thanks for tuning in. I'm a boom operator,
On the grip.
and this is the Driving Speakerbox. Bye.